What's going on? It's Woody here, and I've got another gun review for you today. We've got the Wedgetail MPR Mini in 300 Blackout. If you follow the channel, you know that I'm a big fan of the Wedgetail platform. It is a modular rifle system that offers pretty much unparalleled compatibility with accessories, so you can set up and format these guns to the exact job and shooting style that you need it to do. I've had the Wedgetail MPR 308 for a long time, and it's good. It's a great 308 pump action rifle. I have taken care of many feral pests with it. And then last year I got the Wedgetail MPR Mini in 223. Phenomenal gun. Even now, 800 to 900 rounds in. Super smooth action. That thing is just slippery smooth, and I don't do any crazy maintenance to it. I just give it a clean, a wipe down internally, and then oil it, and then put it all back together, and it's great. Still, I achieve, sub MOA groups at 100 meters with like Fiocchi 55 grain and that sort of thing, and 50 grain. Now I've got my hands on the 300 Blackout. Super excited by that. Super excited by the prospect of having a 30 cal projectile coming out of a compact platform like the Mini. It's quite divisive. So I put in the forum a few weeks ago, what's your preference, pros and cons for 300 Blackout versus 223, and there were a lot of hot opinions. A lot of people made opinions that were obviously based on not their own experience. A lot of people claim there's no point in having 300 Blackout unless you've got suppressors. You're shooting subsonics, and I disagree. I think there is definitely advantages to having a projectile that's twice the weight coming out of a compact platform like this. Obviously, effective range is not going to be as good, but for what this gun and this caliber is built for, I think it will excel at that. I recently brought out the Zerotech 1-10 Trace ED, which is the optic mounted on the gun there. I brought out the review video for that, and I used this gun. It was my first time shooting this gun in that video, and it performed flawlessly. Now I've got it on the range. Now we're going to do a dedicated review video for this gun. We're going to talk a couple of quick specs. Then we're going to talk about how I've built this gun and set it up for the shooting style that I like. And then we're just going to hook straight into some shooting so I can show you guys how it cycles. So this is a 16-inch barrel. It is a tight twist. It's a 1 in 5 twist. I'm using Hornady 110 grain VMAX projectiles. It's a category B pump action rifle. It takes PMAGs, and it's compatible with a plethora of Magpul accessories. So I'm going to take you through tip to butt on how I've set it up. So right at the front, you'll see I've got the Wedgetail 9-ox blast deflector. This consists of two parts. So you have the jacket, which I'm unscrewing there, and you have the threaded brake. So the threaded brake is a birdcage style brake with an external thread. The jacket allows the gas to expand through the brake, but then redirects the blast forward. Why do I want that? When I'm shooting around objects, shooting off trees, off benches and that sort of thing, I don't want a radial blast just going out in every direction. Especially when I'm shooting around other people, shooting around vehicles, I like my blast to go forward instead of out in every direction, picking up every little bit of debris or just concussing my colleagues and friends with that sideways blast. I have the M-Bus flip-up sights. I run quick release mounts for my optics, so having a fixed aiming solution that's there in case I don't have the scope mounted is just a nice peace of mind, knowing that I could pick this rifle up at any time and it's going to work. I've got the Olight Odin S M-Lock mounted flashlight with the remote. It's great, momentary remote. You hold down and it's momentary, or you tap and it's on, and tap to turn off again. I have the Magpul angled foregrip. I have the Warn XScale QD with the Zerotech Trace ED 1-10 by 24. Amazing optic. You really should go back and watch the review of this if you get the chance. and the Trace Halo enclosed reflex sight in an anodized FDE because I'm a huge FDE nerd. I've got the MOE K2 Plus grip, which is a rubberized style grip with the extra thumb groove. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, so it helps me get in nice and close to that trigger. And this is just the standard CTR stock that it came with. Sling wise, I have the Paraclip mount on the M-lock at the front here, and then I'm just using the QD cup at the rear at the stock. That sits very comfortably. With the Ember slings, I can lengthen them and shorten them to suit any sort of scenario that I need it to. I've thrown up my accurate target gear steel gong, my 9-inch gong, just on its stake over there at 100 meters. I'm just going to fire a couple of shots to confirm that I'm on, which I know I will be, but it's just nice to get that barrel warmed up. And then I'm going to try and do a tight little group on paper and just establish a bit of a baseline there. Man, these things are freaking expensive. Making these videos can be quite an expense, and I do it at my own expense and in my own time. If you would like to support this and help me make more videos like this, I'd be honoured if you consider buying something off my online store, woodyoutdoors.com.au. We have shirts. You know, every shirt sold would buy me probably about 5 of these bullets. We have coffee, we have medical equipment, tourniquets, chest seals, full IFAKs, bleed control kits, medic kits, survival kits. We have shooting gear like the bag I'm using in this video, rear bags. If you enjoy watching these videos, I would be honoured if you consider buying something from woodyoutdoors.com.au. Now back to some shooting. Alright, first 5 all on steel, first time impacts, no surprise there. I think a lot of people are thinking, how well does this thing shoot? Is it accurate? So I've put some paper up at 100 meters. I'm going to try and get myself a nice bagged position here and try and have as little human input as possible when firing these rounds at the paper, and just see what kind of group I might be able to lay down in this standing bench position. Let's give it a go. It is a, I guess, mill style trigger. You know, classic AR-15 style trigger, so it's not a competition trigger, alright? So you competition shooters are going to have to work on your finger strength. But no, all jokes aside, you can drop any other AR-15 style cassette trigger in there. I think the trigger that it comes with is appropriate for the style of gun that this is. So I'm going to try and pull this trigger with as little human input as possible and see if I can put an accurate group down range. Just went for a quick 100-meter walk to retrieve my target. So here's some shots I was firing just off the tailgate of the Jeep. Here's a little group I just did off the bench. That looks like one hole, but it's actually 3 bullet holes all touching each other. Out of a pump action 300 Blackout. I'm okay with that. Gonna do some practical shooting now, because let's face it, there's no shooting benches when you're hunting. So from resting against a tree, I'm going to try and engage a steel gong that I have out there. From this position, it's probably about 150 meters. Nothing too scientific, but I'd say within, you know, your normal sort of hunting, practical shooting range. So I'm going to try and engage that from this standing position. Now let's go off this stump. That puts the target about 100 meters away. Now let's do it from a one knee crouching position. That's good. There we go. So just freehanding off the one knee at 100 meters, quite comfortable. Yeah, cycles really cleanly, really well. Even for a new gun, you know, some new guns can sometimes be a bit sticky in the action. This one's pretty smooth right out of the box, which is good. But I reckon, like my other MPR Mini, it'll just get smoother and smoother as it really wears in and beds down. Well, I've shown you heaps of shooting footage so you can see what it's like to cycle and handle, a couple of different practical shooting scenarios. I've shown you shooting off buggies, leaning off trees, shooting freehand, shooting off a knee, shooting off a tree stump, cycling some rounds in quick succession, shooting at steel, shooting at paper to show you how accurate it is. I'm still pretty stoked with that little 3-shot group. That was pretty cool. That leads us now to final thoughts. Wedgetail MPR Mini, already a proven platform in my eyes. I've owned one for a while now. 300 Blackout adds that extra bit of versatility. So what am I hoping that this gun does for me? My goal is to be able to shoot larger game out of a platform that is as compact as this Mini. I think that this is going to be a great middle ground between my MPR 308 and my MPR Mini in 223. I look forward to getting this onto some feral pests, and stay tuned because I'll be posting updates and more content as we go. Thank you so much for watching this review video. If you've liked what you've watched, please check out more reviews at woodyoutdoors.com.au. See you on the next one.